welcome back. This is still your Love Music, Love Life station, Smooth 98.1. My name is Ayo, and we are live with Rotus for Business Express 981.
Good morning, Ayo. Good morning, Lagos City and beyond.
Welcome, Rotus. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing good, thank you, thank you, thank you. Traffic is again acting up.
Oh gosh, I think this week is just bad.
Yeah, it's just,
All
I'm
right.
just tired.
Okay, let's get straight into business world. But before we go on, you can join us on this conversation. WhatsApp number is 0809 444 So that's 0809 444
Yes, and I guess Twitter as well. Hashtag Business Express
91.
Yes, indeed. So yeah, 3 days in a row now. Equity markets in the positive zone. Although yesterday was very marginal, 0.09%. 30,773 points is where we closed. So far this month of love month of February, 0.71% positive, but for the year we're down by 2.09%. All the sectors, I think, except consumer goods. No, excuse me, all the sectors are positive actually, except for consumer goods. And we had 20 gainers, 12 losers. Better Glass was our top gainer. AG Leventis was our top loser. So look, we discussed this on Monday about whether or not Caverton's stock would be affected by the little mishap that happened with the vice president. Business Days finally jumped. See, we're ahead. Huh?
You're ahead.
We're ahead of the
Always
curve.
ahead.
Before all the media people looked at it, and now it's made a headline in Business Day. So Business Day headline is saying investors shrug off risks to Caverton earnings despite air mishap. So basically, Caverton stock has been flat for the year. It hasn't moved, like 2 naira 20 kobo. But essentially, Business Day, they did what we did. Maybe they listened to the show. I don't know.
I think they said we listened to the show.
They probably did. But they essentially said that investors are like, we see this thing as a one-off, and it's not something that we think is going to happen again or affect the company's earnings. So Caverton is fine. To answer the question, someone sent in, why did VP or Sibanjo charter a private chopper?
Yes.
I think the Punch came out with a reason, and I found it. Okay, they said that of the presidential fleet, only 2 of their helicopters were functioning. I don't know how many in total they had. They didn't say the total official fleet of helicopters that they had, but it said of the 2 that were functioning, they were already dispatched to venues in the northeast for campaign issues. So I think the president was probably using one of some of his aides. So the VP had no helicopters to use. No official ones.
It's a private engagement. It's not a state function. So why should he use?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, I see it as a state function because it's a campaign. So they're campaigning for his re-election. So you are using state resources or using what you have at your disposal in order to fly around the country for your re-election.
So should the other candidates also,
And they don't have it now. That's they call they call it the bully pulpit. That's why as the incumbent you have these advantages. So essentially he didn't have any helicopters available, so that's why he now had to charter this private helicopter, and essentially that's what happened. So there's still an issue of maintenance as to whether or not they are making sure our helicopters are working in full capacity. So Caverton's okay. Stock didn't move. It didn't move up yesterday. Didn't move down. It's flat, and I guess they're fine. Okay. We also had another question: whether or not the central bank sells FX directly to people. We're joined by Abiola of Afrinvest. Abiola, how's traffic treating you?
Good morning, Abiola.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome. Good to have you in here again with us. So I think we talked about this yesterday. Does the CBN sell FX directly to you and I?
No.
No, they do not. So they go through the banks, yeah?
They go to the banks. The market has different segments. The banks, what banks do is that banks every week, they go to the CBN, they have accounts with the CBN, so they fund their account with the CBN with Naira equivalent, and then the CBN provides the forex cash to them. So you also have BDCs,
right?
BDCs as well.
That's Bureau de Change.
Bureau de Change. So what you see for them is that on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So the CBN has an intervention of about $50,000 US.
Right.
It sells to that segment of the market. So what you see for the BDCs as well is that they fund their Naira account with the CBN, and CBN finds a way to transfer the forex cash to them.
All right,
Then,
just one more question before, because it's in relation, well, sort of. It says, Kufra says, good morning. I wanted to know if you think it's a wise investment decision to buy dollars in anticipation of the elections. I'm sorry, it's, well, not because we're talking about dollars.
Yeah,
I thought,
that's a fair question.
Related,
Kufra, thank you for that. Yeah, okay, keep
so,
going. So
what I would say to the person is this: what you should do is this. What about you try to just invest in dollar-denominated assets instead, than saying that you want to speculate on the naira? I think that what I think, or what we think at Afrinvest for the naira is that the naira remains stable between now and the rest of the year. The CBN has the buffers to defend the naira, and the naira will not move. But if you're thinking about investment for yourself, it's best that you maybe invest in ETFs, foreign ETFs, as a way of getting returns in dollars for yourself. So that's better. That's a better investment advice.
that's exchange traded funds.
Exactly, exchange traded funds.
I see, and that's, you guys. Oh, please defer to the to brokers like Afrinvest. However, I'll admit, I've told people on this show to buy and hold dollars in anticipation of the election, because there's a tweet. Oh gosh, I wish I could find this. It's from okay, Financial Planning Kalu. It's I've mentioned his Twitter handle here. FinPlan Kalu Aja. That's his Twitter handle. He was quoting the INE window. He was quoting forwards, FX forwards. So you know where I can buy dollars from you a month from now or 3 months from now. The 1 month, I can't remember, I can't find this tweet now, but anyway, off the top of my head, I think the 1 month forward was 362. 3 months was like 365. The 1 year forward for dollars was 413. Was 413. So essentially, what he was saying was that the folks, as far as the window is concerned, sellers of the dollar, believe that a year from now it will probably be trading at 400 naira to a dollar. So again, that's, it's a marketplace. People are, it's like speculations, like you just mentioned.
To comment on that a little bit, so we ourselves, we modeled it, and we know that currently the value of the naira at 360 is not a true reflection of the naira.
Yeah.
So you could say that in a year time, you might want to speculate and assume that the naira will depreciate. Will depreciate to above 400, and if you give circumstances that what's happening in international market, the value of the naira, and all of other sentiment like that, you want to just think that, okay, the naira in the next 1 year. But if you're looking at the next election, for the election that's in 2 weeks' time, the naira remains stable.
Okay, between now and then,
Between now and the election, it remains stable. So we might just see a little bit of policy change in policy direction when if there's a new CBN governor by June. So if there's a new CBN governor by June, and then it brings a new direction to the management of FX, or oil prices tank, and then everybody believes that Nigeria does not have sufficient buffers anymore for FX. So I want to see that, okay, Naira will now begin to continue. People will now be very, very bold to quote
their own rates.
Okay,
thank you for that. I found the tweet. So he said FX forward. So CBN official rate 306. INE FX window 1 month forward 365. He said then 3 month forward 371. 6 month forward 384. 1 year 413. So yes, it was 413. So interesting times. So you can, we're a bit on opposite sides here, but then I would defer to Afrinvest as far as speculations on where the naira is going to move to. Let's move to GDP growth. Federal government disagrees with IMF on economic growth forecast. I always like challenging our government when it comes to their forecasts because they're always so rosy. Minister of Budget and National Planning, Mr. Senator Udo Udoma, he's expecting Nigeria to grow at 3% this year, 2019. The IMF, I think they downgraded and they said they're going to do about 2%. What do you think? Is it a little rosy on their part? Because he's saying President Buhari has mandated that we pump out 2.3 million barrels of oil per day. Where are we getting 2.3 from? We barely did 2 last year, Abi. So what do you think as far as the 3% for the federal government, 2% for IMF?
Okay, so for the federal government, you expect that their GDP forecast will be rousing. In the sense that
extra positive.
Exactly. Just like if you set a budget for yourself, you just want to give yourself high expectations. But we think that there are some challenges that are moderating the GDP growth rate for Nigeria. If you think about what has happened within the agricultural sector, the growth rate in the agricultural sector has been remaining weak following the recession in 2016. And then you think about the fact that between the middle belt, where most of Nigeria's agricultural produce is coming from, it has been challenged by the farmers' crisis, the farmers' herdsmen crisis, and attacks from Boko Haram. So those challenges have moderated the kind of output you're getting from that side. So, which is one of the challenges we're having with our agricultural GDP.
Okay.
When you think about services, which is also another big component of our GDP, think about what's happening within that space as well. So, GDP growth rate for services has also been weak. But we think that for us, we think that GDP growth rate for 2019 will be around 2.5%.
Okay. So you guys are in the middle.
Yeah, we are in the middle. We think that we'll do 2.5%. And we think that following the elections and there is clarity within the economy. So what you might want to see is that, for example, in our equities market, you might want to see that foreign investors will come back to the market. We might begin to see like a little bit of improvement in FDI as well. So you might just think that overall the economy will rise, will improve.
I see. Yeah, I don't know if we'll barely scratch 2%. But good forecast on your part. Okay,
right,
real quick. Femi had a question. Are we on the
yes,
ETFs?
Femi had a question. He asked, please, can you give examples of ETFs and how does one invest in them?
Exchange traded funds, have you?
Okay, so for exchange traded funds, currently within the market, a number of organizations within the market have exchange traded funds. For you to invest within them, so what you should do is contact your asset management firm. If you have an asset management firm, you're subscribed to contact them. So when you contact them, you tell them that you want to buy an ETF. So it depends if you want to buy an ETF, a local ETF in Nigeria. If you look at, or you could just go to the Nigerian Stock Exchange and look through the price list. A number of ETFs are listed. So
I think
that way,
Femi is referring to the dollar one you mentioned earlier.
For the dollar one, I can't.
Afrinvest, are you guys offering?
We don't offer any.
Okay, you're not offering. Okay, but what I'll do is, I always like homework on this show, so I'll go through a list. I do know that there are some, but I think you might have to purchase them in. You might have to purchase them from one of our brokers, but I'll find out about that for you guys and discuss that tomorrow on the program.
All right, thank you very much, Rotus.
We run out of time.
We've run out of time,
Abiola
unfortunately.
Of Afrinvest. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Abiola. Thank you, Rotus.
Thank you.
All right, guys, tune in tomorrow 6:45 for Business Express with Rotus, and some of your questions that we couldn't take today, we will try to take them before
tomorrow. Yes, indeed.
Tomorrow morning. But thank you very much for your comments. Thank you very much for being a part of the show. Stay tuned.
Also,
Yeah, you ran.
Yeah. Where's the song? Good morning.
Yeah, Ayo
How are you?
joined us. Yeah, that's Abiola.
well done,
Okay,
man.
I'll come back and check the questions.
Okay.
Same thing, bro.